Hello, my name is Alvin Moore, Master Numerologist, and I would like to continue my series on exit points. Exit points is the time, the month, the day, the year, and the age that a soul departs on. Today, I would like to talk about Janis Joplin. Janis Joplin has a very interesting transitional uh, numbers. Very interesting. And as I was looking at her numbers, I came to the conclusion that she had way too much energy circulating around her, and she couldn't handle it. And because she couldn't handle it, she resorted to heroin and alcohol and drugs, and that's how she lost her life. There was just too much heavy energy around her. And I'm going to try to explain what I mean by that. So here we go. Janis Joplin was a powerhouse singer and performer, a very commanding presence. She was a very highly evolved soul who perhaps could not handle or understand her power. High power comes with high responsibility. Her energy rushed out like a very powerful fire hose. One must cultivate the strength in order to channel this kind of energy correctly. Janis Joplin made her transition on October the 4th, 1970. Her first subcore is the number 1. 1 plus 0 equals 1. That's her first subcore. And it offers us a window into the behavior patterns and the personality pattern of the individual. Now, the number 1 energy is a very strong will and a very self-determined type of vibrational energy that shot her to the top of her profession. A very gifted artist who I believe knew that she wasn't going to have a lot of time left on this earth. I think she just knew that um, she was going to leave early. So, I don't believe it was easy for her to handle the fire that she was generating. See, the number 1 is ruled by the sun, and it's very hot, it's very large, and it's very fiery. And the 1 energy comes with the attitude of, I got to prove something to myself, I got to prove something to the world, and I need to prove it right now. Her 1 energy propelled her into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She was the queen of the psychedelic soul. She was the eldest of 3, and her mother would say that Janis demanded a lot of attention. Those are all qualifications. Not so much qualifications, those are all indicators of a 1 vibrational frequency. Now, her second subcore, which is the number 4, meant that she commanded the stage because the 4 energy is a stage, and she commanded the stage because the stage is a platform, and the 4 ruled that. She was one of the most popular acts of the Monterey Pop Festival and one of the major attractions to the Woodstock Festival and the Festival Express train. The number 4 energy is a hard energy. It's hard as nails. And like the number 1, can endure the fire. For example, when she was in high school, she was the butt of cruelty. The children would call her names such as freak, pig, creep, because she had acne problems and she picked up, you know, some additional weight. But she was able to withstand that onslaught. That's another indication of just how tough the 1s and the 4s are. They can handle the fire. So the strength for the 1 and the 4 kept on pushing ahead. When she was in college, she attended the University of Texas for a few years, and the name of that paper is called the Daily Texan. And one of the writers wrote the headline, "She dares to be different." That's another strong indicator of a 1 energy. They don't want to be like everybody else. They want to be different. And Janis Joplin was definitely different. Now, the vibration that sits between the first core of number 1 and the second core of number 4 is number 5. Now, usually the 5 energy is there to keep the number 1 and the number 4 energy in check. But in this case, the 5 wasn't really the energy that was tripping her up. Usually it would be the 5 that would trip an individual up when they become attracted to drugs and alcohol. Usually there's a very strong 5 presence. The 5 is there, but in my analysis, that wasn't a culprit. But the 5 is usually is there to keep the 1 and 4 in check. But I just don't think that 5 energy was strong enough to get her off focus. Because a 1 and a 4 energy is very, very focused, and she got way off focus. And I'm gonna share my conclusions with you guys later on in the video why I just think it wasn't a 5 was the culprit in this situation. But anyhow, Janet's third subcore consisted of 4 sub-elements: the 7, excuse me, the 1, the 9, and the 7. It has a 0, but in numerology, we don't consider the 0 as part of our analysis. Now, the number 1 is still standing strong in spite of the number 5. So that 1 energy is standing strong with the first subcore number 1 with the second subcore energy of the number 4. It's standing strong in spite that the number 5 had such a profound influence in the life, and the 5 did influence the life, but I don't believe it was to the degree in which she got addicted to drugs and alcohol. Now, the second sub-element is the 9, and it's an energy that is universal in nature. and she was able to create a sensation throughout America and throughout the world. So the 9 was quite on point there. Now, the third sub-element was way in the back, which was the number 7. And I believe it was trying to insert the light of the spirit into the life. But because it was set way into the back, it had some influence, but I don't think it had a very major influence in the life. The 7 is all about, trusting spirit, having faith in oneself, but it's set in the back. So when you add all 3 sub-elements together, you're going to get the compound number of 17. 1 plus 9 is 10. 10 plus 7 is 17. And 1 plus 7 going to bring us to our third subcore of the number 8. So her 3 subcores, the 1 and the 4 and the 8, are all external energies. And in my opinion, it was just too heavy. For an example, it's equivalent to having, like say the number 1 is equivalent to say a bomb. That's a lot of power, a lot of intensity. But then you also have the number 4, the second subcore. So let's say the number 4 is like an atomic bomb. So now you got a bomb, an atomic bomb. That's way too much energy for an individual. And then the third subcore is a number 8. That's like having 10 atomic bombs. So now we got 11 atomic bombs and 1 bomb. She just couldn't endure that much power. She had that much power, but she didn't have the strength or the capacity to know how to channel it correctly. Now, a lot of that power did go into propelling her to the world stage. And Janis Joplin's going to always, when music critics analyze musicians, she's going to always be at the top of that chart, that list of one of the greatest performers that ever, graced the stage. So those 1s and those 4s and the 8s did do their job on that level. But on a personal level, she just collapsed under all that energy. That's why I'm saying I don't think the 5 energy was the culprit. I think those powerful 1s, 4s, and 8s. But let me continue. I'm getting ahead of myself. So, so the 1 and the 7 is reduced down to the powerful number 8. Now, let's add all our energies together. Let's add the first 2 sub-elements, which is the number 10 that makes our first subcore, to the pure subcore, the number 4. So we got 10 plus 4. And then we're going to add that to her departure year, which was 1970. And you're going to end up with a compound number of 1975. Now, all those numbers are revealing what was going on in the energy field. But the number that I'm more or less interested in is the compound number of 22. 1975 is reduced down to a 22. A 22 is what we call in numerology a master number. It is a number of high power, high intensity. It's a number that builds pyramids, civilizations. It's a number that conquers planets. In other words, the 22 energy is a nuclear bomb. So not only did she have the bomb of the number 1 and the atomic bomb of the number 4 and an additional 10 atomic bombs with the number 8, she had a nuclear bomb as well. And the master number is 22. There's no way an individual with that type of power can handle that type of fire and not get burnt up. No way. She just came in with too much force. She didn't need that much energy to do what she had to do, but apparently she thought she did. Now, I'm going to stop this video so that I can continue in part 2. I have some very interesting numbers that I want to reveal to you guys, and I want to continue with my analysis. So I'll see you in part 2.